Thanks for watching the Will Studios. I'm Will, and this morning, I'm going to draw Superman. We'll talk a bit about foreshortening. So, foreshortening, obviously, some things are closer, some things are obscured. We're going to foreshorten Superman. Obviously, he's coming towards us. Let's do the classic Superman pose where he's taken off. He's got one arm kind of behind him, one arm ahead, and he's like coming up towards us. And then we'll talk a little bit about foreshortening. I always draw things in real time so you can see how I work things out. I'm not approaching this picture of Superman with like a finished idea of exactly what I want him to do, so it's not like I'm drawing in a comic book. I can kind of do whatever I want with him. You can tell how many times I've drawn this pose by how quickly my autopilot just sort of framed it in. Like 2.5 minutes. You can tell how much help I need drawing capes because it's going to take me more time to frame that cape in. Someone described Superman's cape like a windsock, basically. Like you can put it wherever just to describe what's going on. Let's see how much of it is. I want to draw the whole figure. But you know what? I also want to make notes and stuff on it. Let's do that. Put some more foreshortening on that back leg there. That's better. I almost said excellent, but it's just better. Get rid of, shave off some of that. I want the silhouette to look right before I move on. And foreshorten that arm a little bit. So, yeah, that'll work out really nice for a quick Superman sketch. There we go. So as far as the foreshortening goes, obviously this fist up here is much larger than this fist down here. Foreshortening. I can't even see this bicep back here really barely at all. Foreshortening. The abs are all coming down like this. Foreshortening. See? It's a great lesson on foreshortening. Let's do a quick lesson on Superman's face. I think the main thing about Superman is that he's a very optimistic character. So he should always look like very sure of himself. Let's just map out where his face is real quick. Sometimes I find myself just throwing lines around, and then I'll find one that looks nice, and that'll go into the bank. And I'm not using the inking brushes yet, so I feel like that gives me freedom. Sort of play around a little bit. Sometimes I'll settle, like in this case, I'm going to settle on that part of the face that kind of looks nice. and adjust everything else up to it. As I mentioned in the other video, the Superman squinting thing. So I don't even need to really draw like his eyes, you know. But bring his lips up. Give him a chin. Don't waste too much time on any one spot. Every like spandex hero you draw is like a new anatomy study. This I'm calling it comfortable silence. Nothing uncomfortable about this silence. Because we're studying anatomy with Superman. Live on YouTube. I gave him a belly button. Get rid of that belly button. Now this is a part that I always kind of mess up. Because that's an okay foot shape. But then it doesn't actually make sense. It's kind of borrowed from Like Todd McFarlane would just draw a foot shape for Spider-Man. Man, it worked for Tom. Maybe it'll just work for me, but I'm trying to like think, okay, what's his foot actually doing? Because foreshortening up to there. His heel would be back here, right? I guess that would be the shape. It would be kind of a shape like that, huh? Maybe. I'll come up with a better way someday. But for now, I'm going to stick with the shape. Now, as far as this one's concerned, if we have the top of the knee here, I'm just going to go down there. I don't even think we would see the foot. So I'm not even going to put that, because the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm like, okay, like, is he kicking it out funny? We're just going to not see it. We're only going to see one foot down there. There we go. Is his head too big? His head's a little too big. Happens. That's better. That's much better. And his cape, though. Let's say that the end of his cape is like that. this thing's coming down. Let's say it billows out like that. Too wavy. Whatever. Alright, can we cap this at 25 minutes? Is that possible? Alright. If we do the whole thing, come on now. The whole thing with like a number 10, so it's like a brush pen, won't allow me to get too detailed, which should prevent me from taking too long. And really make me think about, okay, what are the most important lines? And it'll force me to put some like involuntary shadows down. And no erasing. That's going to give me my best bet to finish this in a real timely fashion, I think. Oh man, I undid. Oh well. I couldn't let that line survive. Sorry. Did I say I wasn't gonna zoom in? That I wasn't gonna... Did I just think that? Oh man, I couldn't do 25 seconds. Oh well. 25 minutes, that is. And hey, that's good enough for 26 minutes. I got to talk about foreshortening a little bit. I guess since I'm already at 26 minutes, let's go to 30 and let's just add. Thicken up the lines where we need to for shading. Make our character have a little more depth. Should I color in the S? Nah. Not all these lines are winners. But that doesn't mean I'm not a winner. We will win! Freaking ridiculous. Superman has black eyes. Here. Give him some red eyes. Give him some Homelander eyes. For no reason. Alright. You know. Let's put some more lines in over here. Make that look way cooler. When in doubt, remind yourself, like, more lines in general will make something look cooler. As long as those lines are describing the shape, you know, maybe it looks awkward to you at the moment, but people will generally, I think, be pretty cool about it, especially non-artists. Maybe I'll get a professional artist that comes around, but heck, man. I'd only be so lucky. I'd only be so lucky to get somebody to come around and be like, hey, this sucks about your artwork. And be like, who's this guy? And it's like, oh, someone who's actually good. Get rid of some of those lines. Move them down. Anywho. Thanks for tuning in once again. I hope you enjoyed drawing Superman with me this morning. I always enjoy drawing Superman. Thanks for visiting the Will Studios.